Alaska, and I just got done doing a 5-day water fast. And this video here, I'm just going to explain how I'm going to break an extended fast, like 5-day water fast. Here in Alaska, it's after 9:30, and that's when my fast started. Was last Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. That was my last meal. My last meal was some beef stew, and then I went throughout the week doing a 5-day water fast. Now, every time I do a water fast, the first thing I do in the morning is I drink a tall glass, similar to this. I'll add in a little bit of salt, electrolyte salt, which is any type of heavy mineral salt, which contains natural minerals. So you can use Himalayan pink salt, Celtic sea salt. I can also use Redmond salt, which is what I typically use. So I use about 5 or 6 shakes of salt into this glass. And then I'll use a product called No Salt for potassium. And the potassium helps with leg cramping, especially when you're fasting, because if you do extended fasts for any period of time, you tend to get leg cramps because when you're fasting, your body's pulling all of the water retention out of your legs, and it's reducing swelling, it's reducing edema, other type medical issues, stuff like that. So, and then after that, I'll put a splash of apple cider vinegar in the glass, and I will also put a splash of lemon juice in the glass. And both of those ingredients have their own unique benefits. So yeah, absolutely. Google search, the benefits of apple cider vinegar, and also, search the benefits of lemon juice, because there's potential magnesium and other stuff in lemon juice as well. So yeah, I just put that in the glass. I mix it up with, put some water in it, of course, and then I mix it up. And that gets me my electrolytes for the day when I'm fasting. Now, also when I'm fasting, I might do another drink just before bedtime, and that'll decrease the amount of cramping I might get while I'm sleeping, so I can get a really good night's rest. And you can do that any day of the week for any type of eating practices you might want to do. Electrolytes really help reduce cramping symptoms, especially in the lower legs. At least from my experience, it's been pretty bad. I wake up and I got to walk around the house because I got severe cramping. But here I am breaking my fast today, and this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be eating a couple of these pickled eggs that I showed in my pickled egg video not too long ago. Actually, I think that was a live stream, but I'm pretty excited. These have been in the fridge for over a week. I haven't touched them. I've wanted to because they just look outstanding. And if you want to check out that stream, it's in my live stream setup, but you can see how I made these. Super simple, super quick and easy. You just boil some eggs, make your brine, put whatever seasonings you want inside the container here, and then just let them sit and leave them alone for at least 7 days. And these have been in there for over 7 days. So I know they're going to be beautiful, and they're going to almost have like a cheese-like texture. And then something I made yesterday because I was bored. I mean, I was doing videos. I jumped in on another live stream with Carnivore Scotty, and that went extremely well. My video is already up for my weekly update, and that's what I do here in Alaska. Is I do weekly weight loss updates. I do a lot of fasting experiments because they're all an experiment to see what it does to your body. I was 435 pounds 44 weeks ago. And that's why I do this stuff, is to hopefully help people understand that anybody can lose weight. It's totally possible. I don't care if you're sitting at home in bed and you're stuck, you can barely move and barely get to the bathroom. That was me. I was that guy. I was praying for God to take me in the middle of the night, and he refused and said, no, you're going to do something else. And that's how I got started on this journey in the first place, is with a lot of prayer and a lot of community that wraps around what I'm doing here. Now, my diet mainly focuses on the carnivore diet for right now, but it wasn't always the carnivore diet. I started my weight loss journey with a series of fastings. I did a first, 5-day water fast. It lost me 30 pounds in 5 days. 30 pounds, morbidly obese, 435 pounds, lost 30 pounds of water weight in 5 days. I'm sorry, you carry around 30 pounds of anything for a while, and you're going to have a hard time with it. That's just 30 pounds of the overall weight loss that I've had so far. And as of this week, I have lost almost exactly 135 pounds in 44 weeks. So this is extremely possible. You can also do it in a healthy, natural way without a whole lot of exercise. Now, exercise is extremely, extremely important. So once you get the weight off, like where I'm at right now, I need to step up my game. I need to start walking more. I need to start getting out with family. I need to start being more active. There's a lot of stuff that we can do that's simple, because the general consensus is eat less, move more to lose weight. Well, if you work with that principle alone, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in a rut, just like I was. Because when I started losing weight, I was jumping on that bandwagon like, oh, that sounds great. That's super simple. I can eat less and move more because I'm fasting already. Well, guess what? Fasting isn't exactly the most sustainable way to losing weight. It's a great way to lose weight, but you have to have a plan for what you're going to do after the fast. And you also have to have a plan for what you're going to do during the fast, because you might just get into a fast and get a couple days into it and be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. It's hard. And I know I made all the excuses in the last 44 weeks to screw things up. I've done a lot of things to screw up this weight loss routine. I even, went off the rails and gained 26 pounds. And I have that all documented here on this channel. If you guys want to check it out, by all means, subscribe. You don't even have to subscribe. But if you're interested in stuff like this, trying to figure out how to be an average person, that's me, average. I have no training with making videos or doing anything on YouTube. I'm just the average Joe. I live in a trailer home in Alaska. I drive a big truck, and seriously, just want to share this with people and hopefully get them motivated to not necessarily do what I'm doing, but to do something for yourself today. I mean, that's all it took, was one day of saying, I'm fed up. I'm tired of being morbidly obese. I'm tired of struggling to get to the bathroom. I'm tired of my feet hurting, my legs hurting, my knees, my back. All of that pain has gone away in the last 44 weeks. I can bend over now and touch my toes. I can tie my shoes without turning blue in the face. That was a problem, especially when I had edema, because when you have edema, your feet swell up like little baby pumpkins. And there were times where I had to make that embarrassing phone call to my employers and say, hey, I'm sorry, I cannot come to work today because I cannot get my freaking boots on. And I couldn't get my feet into sneakers. I couldn't get into any footwear whatsoever. So just walking out the door, I had to wear something like slippers or Crocs just to go check the mail. And that's embarrassing as it is. And of course, my fluffy butt has to get in the middle of the show, as always. This is my cat, Gray Bear. I let my cats do random stuff when I'm making content. It took me quite some time to get over the fact that these cats are just randomly part of the show, but I just let them do whatever they do. But anyways, I want to get into these pickled eggs first. And then here in a little bit, we're going to be cooking up these chicken wings. Actually, I cooked these yesterday because I was extremely bored after, making my videos and getting them uploaded and doing that live stream. And I wanted to get something like meal prep ready for today. And I don't use my air fryer very often. I cleaned off my counter. I got behind everything, cleaned up all my dishes this morning. I was super energized and motivated for a guy that hasn't eaten anything in the last 5 days. I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, you can kind of hear it in my voice. I mean, I am not like I have to eat something hungry, even after a 5-day fast. Now, I think the key is on the carnivore diet, because there's always this great debate. Like, hey, do we fast on the carnivore diet or do we not fast? Because it's different for everybody's journey. And for mine, I went with the, okay, I'm just going to eat more. I'm going to eat more different types of meats. I'm going to add in more fat, and see what that does. And I didn't feel like I wasn't gaining weight fast, but I wasn't losing weight either. I was gaining a lot of health points in many areas. I mean, my blood work that came in, and I talked about my blood work in my latest video. And I did like a week and a half solid priming. And priming is basically just eating, red meats, eating meats and fats until you're fully satiated 2 to 3 times a day. And sometimes, you want to overeat a little bit, get all of that meat and nutrition packed in there. And if you do it for a little bit over a week, that clears out all of the nonsense stuff. And I was tending to get into the fruits for a while. That was really slowing down everything for my weight loss. So I eliminated all the fruits. I eliminated all the vegetables and stuff like that. And guess what? By the advice of the carnivore community and other people that have been experiencing all of this, it has improved. I mean, fantastic. So yeah, we're going to get into this. This is going to technically break my fast. So we're a little bit over 5 days now. I'm going to see if I can find a nice one here. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. Okay, I'm excited about this because this looks absolutely amazing. So when I made these pickled eggs, I used turmeric. That's the star of the show that gives it this beautiful color. And I'm unfortunately dripping all over my table, and I'll need to clean that up as we go. But I also added dill. I added garlic powder. Let's see, I added mustard, a whole lot of stuff, like a little bit of salt. And like I said, that's all. That recipe itself is really basic. You can tweak it however you want to make pickled eggs, and there's really no thought to it except for trying to peel the eggs without ruining them, because I peeled a lot of these eggs and I ruined a lot of them in the meantime. And I've been making pickled eggs just because I've been bored throughout the week. So I have some more sitting in the fridge that'll be, consumed here. And as you eat these, you can always reuse the brine. Awesome. Yes, reuse the brine and just keep adding more eggs to it, just over and over and over again. I don't know if this brine ever goes bad. And if you, let's say you have other pickles in your house, I recommend using the brine from dill pickles. And if you look on the back of the container, you can see if it's 0 calorie or not, and you can see what other ingredients are in the brine itself. And that way you can gauge on if you want to reuse that brine or not, because some of these brines have, natural flavors, ingredients I don't particularly care for. So I'll just make my own brine out of apple cider vinegar on the stove. I'll just get it warmed up. You don't want to boil it. And then I just add it in here on top of the eggs. But you always want to add your eggs into the container before you put the brine in, because it doesn't take a whole lot of brine to fill this container once it's full of eggs. So that's just something to consider. We're going to mow down on this little beauty here. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. And it kind of has the texture of cheese. I mean, it's the closest thing to cheese without tasting like cheese. It is very nice. It's got a dill flavor. I can taste the garlic. I put a lot of cayenne pepper in here too. It has a faint overtone, almost like a smoky overtone of cayenne pepper that's hidden underneath the vinegar flavor. But it's not overwhelming. It's delicious. It's similar to eating a regular pickle. Just it has a lot more vitamins and nutrients here inside this egg than a pickle does. Now, another option, if you're trying to lose weight, is eating dill pickles. I did that early on in my weight loss journey, and that worked out incredibly well. I was extremely carb addicted at that time, and I was just searching for healthier options, on the ketogenic plane. So I was using dill pickles to, satiate me enough to not get into the pantry and not eat a bunch of cookies or cupcakes or all that nonsense stuff I used to eat before, like ramen noodles. I was the master at wrecking ramen noodles. I would make ramen noodles. I would add a container of canned soup like Progresso. I would dump that in there, to make it stretch a little further. But I was usually using 2 to 3 packs of ramen noodles in one sitting. That's too much. That's too much. And then I was adding in the packets that come with the ramen noodles, and that's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. Let alone the ramen noodles are just really bad for you. They're not very healthy. And there are healthier alternatives for getting something similar to a ramen noodle, even though that's not on the carnivore playing field at all. But you can go to like a lot of these Asian stores and stuff like that, and you can find really good alternatives for noodles. So it's not that you have to get noodles completely out of your diet. You just have to figure out what type of noodles works best for you. And going to Walmart and buying a case of ramen noodles is okay, for just having random stuff stocked around and stuff you might want to gift to your friends or family if they come on the hard times, because that's important. And we don't want to break the bank when we're trying to help other people. But sometimes a case of ramen noodles can just get them through, and that's all you got to do. I'm going to finish this egg real quick. Carnivore Stork, hey, thank you for joining. Yeah, kitties are random, and they've been hunting a lot of mice lately. Let me get this finished, and then we'll move on to other stuff. All right. So the pickled egg is in. And now when you break an extended fast, It's really important to do it in a soft way. And the reason I say that is because our stomachs do not create enough bile. And bile is important for the digestion process and to hopefully, help us through the process of digesting food that we reintroduce into our bodies. So if you were in like a starvation type situation where you just didn't have food and you just started gorging, say on some random food that you found, you're going to have some issues. You're going to blow it out the other end. It's going to be a diarrhea type experience. And this was something that I was warned about when I started researching extended fasting and the benefits and the fallbacks and stuff like that. So whenever I find out that something might be beneficial, I'm the guy that's, I got the poker stick and I'm trying to poke holes in the boat. Even with the carnivore diet, that's what I was doing when I started the carnivore diet. I was constantly on the fence about the benefits of the carnivore diet. What everybody was claiming I thought was absolute nonsense until I experienced it for myself. And I'm like, okay. And then other people in their live streams, they would talk about off-scale victories and stuff like that. And sometimes we just don't recognize those off-scale victories until we experience them 100% for ourselves. Wow, were they right? Now, I have practiced being a vegan for over 7 months. Didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I was losing muscle mass. That was the last thing on my plate for things to do. Losing weight was nice, but at that time of my life, I wasn't really concerned about losing weight because I wasn't morbidly obese at the time. I was right around 235 pounds, and I was a truck driver, so I was starting to gain a little pooch. The pooch never went away, by the way, when I was on a vegan diet, but I was losing weight everywhere else, like in my legs and in my arms. Some inflammation was going down, but I was cranky. I was cranky all the time. I mean, you could come on here and make a silly comment and I would just lose it. I would shut the stream off. I'd be done. There'd be no way I could do this because everything made me sensitive. So I was trigger happy when it came to what people were saying, things that were going on, noises were bugging me. Now I don't worry about much of anything. I mean, if you were here during the beginning of the stream, that cat walking across the camera would have drove me nuts. I would have been yelling and screaming at my cat, or my dog, randomly gets up and her nails are loud on the floor. Yeah, that's how sensitive I was when I was doing like a vegan type diet. And I was, experimenting with that and vegetables and all kinds of stuff. But I never felt good. I never felt healthy. And I was extremely confused for a long time. I didn't know what to do. And I was constantly, thinking that certain things were healthier options. Like if I were to go to McDonald's, for instance, like I'd think, oh, I'm being healthy today. I'm going to order the McChicken. Well, the McChicken sandwich and all the ingredients that come on it and the buns alone, there's like over 435 ingredients in a McDonald's filet of chicken or whatever, filet of fish even. I mean, it's absolute just stuff upon stuff. And then we would typically eat the French fries, and that's got like 136 ingredients in the French fries. It's not made the same way it was before 1990 when they were all fried in beef tallow. That was a somewhat healthy option back then. And that's around the time frame a lot of us in my generation, and I'm almost 50 years old, that's when a lot of us started noticing changes in our bodies because we were just getting ready to get out of high school. We were slowing down activity-wise because we had to start working for a living so we could support ourselves. And we were also, trying to feel more adult-like. So we were constantly thinking like, oh, let's go out to eat. We were always out to eat, going to Dunkin' Donuts, and now it's Starbucks. Everywhere in the country, everybody's going to Starbucks every day. And you can ruin any weight loss potential with your morning coffee. I mean, your morning drink. And if you indulge in energy drinks and stuff like that, wow, that's really slowing stuff down. It might give you a little boost, but you're going to have a crash. And that's going to require you to want and crave another energy drink because you might have one in the morning and by noontime you're like, oh, I'm tired, I need a drink, I just can't make it through the rest of the day. So after a period of time you might consume 4 or 5 Red Bulls or Mountain Dews or whatever it is you're drinking. And since then I've stopped drinking energy drinks and now I drink water. I mean, water is what we need. And if you don't have a solid water supply that tastes good, I'm sorry. My best advice is move. Get away from the unhealthy water supply because if you're showering and bathing in that water and you're cooking in that water, you're getting all the stuff that you don't want to drink anyways. You're getting it in your body, the unhealthy whatever they're treating the water with. And I don't have city water here in Alaska. I have a well that's attached to the trailer park that I live in, and I'm living here specifically because of the water quality. Now, when I look at places to move, yeah, I've been known to move out of places with unhealthy water quality because it's just not sustainable for me, because I just want to be able to turn on the faucet and drink whatever is healthy and natural that comes in our surrounding environments. And here in Alaska, we have a lot of healthy minerals and nutrients that come in these natural springs that are just all over the place. But even down in the lower 48, I lived in a place called Dunawig, Missouri, which is just outside of Joplin, Missouri, which is close to the four corners there of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, in that area. And the water came out of a water tower, and it was treated. And that was where we got all of our water. Now, when I lived there, I had severe dental issues from the water quality. So I wanted to, eventually I got out of there. And as soon as I came to Alaska, I got all my dental issues treated. All my fillings, if I needed teeth removed, I got my teeth removed, or, whatnot. And that took a long time to get that fixed. But after that, I haven't had any problems because it was the water quality down there and whatever was going on in the water system that was making the people in the area lose their teeth. And I wasn't alone. I would be full dentures right now if I continued to live there for an extended period of time, because it's just nonsense type of stuff. Let's see. We got Beth in the room. Hello, Beth. Let's see. Hurry up and eat. I did. I had one of these already. It was freaking amazing. But I did want to get my air fryer going and reheat some of these chicken wings. So we're going to get that started here. I was going to do a long form video on what I was doing. And as soon as I got started, I had technical issues with my camera and stuff like that. So my batteries were dead. My microphone was dead. And I don't know how that happened because I'm usually on top of all this stuff. But all right, this is what we got going on here. Let's shake you guys around like a snow globe, turn you around. But all right, what I have here is the Vortex Insta Vortex Plus, and this is what we're going to use. Now, inside here, we got a little drip tray, and we got 1, 2, 3 levels that I can put my food on. I haven't preheated this yet, so it's safe to touch on the inside. And this is pretty cool because it's got a rotating basket that I can put in here. And the basket's up here. Now, the wife uses this for stuff like French fries or tater tots or whatever, stuff that I'm not eating anymore. And these are the 2 nonstick trays that I have. So I need to get those set up or get this started. Let's see. Roast, broil, bake, heat. I don't know. I've never used this thing before, so I don't even know how it works. So you guys can maybe either teach me, but I think I'll do air fry. It starts out at 400 degrees. We're going to preheat this. And it says, all right, let's see if that'll work. No. Air fry. All right. That should run it. That's loud. Sorry about the loudness. Now this is going to run it through a preheating stage. And as soon as the preheating stage is over, we'll have these all set up by then. So I need to get my chicken over here and start getting these trays set up. And I don't know where I put my chicken. How silly. Look at that. That's fantastic. So we're going to get this chicken all on here and spread out in a way that they're not exactly touching. Now these are pre-cooked. These are pre-cooked from yesterday. I have never cooked my own chicken wings in the oven before, let alone in an air fryer. So this is going to be a fun little learning adventure for me as well. And I'm not a culinary expert. I just say that a lot in my videos because I am not. I stumble, I make mistakes, and making mistakes on camera can be quite interesting at times because people find that rather entertaining. But okay, so that's almost loaded. I'm going to try to fit a little bit more on there. There we go. All right, now that one's full. We're going to move on over to this one by the sink and hope I don't knock them into the sink because that would be horrible. That would be horrible. So yeah, we're not dealing with raw chicken here. So this is, everything is A-okay. The only thing I have to worry about is my feral cats randomly running through and deciding they want something. So that is, all right, we can take a few from over here. I'll take some of these drummies and spread them out. Now I got these chicken wings from Costco, and there was about 40 pounds of chicken wings in this big giant box, and they were 99 cents a pound. I thought that was an amazing deal, but I've never bought bulk chicken wings before, and I didn't know that I had to process the chicken wings beforehand. So that was a learning experience in itself. And now we're just gonna wait until that's done preheating. And then we're gonna add these into the vortex and see how that works. Now, since these are pre-cooked, I'm not gonna be running them for like 20 minutes. I'm only gonna run them I'm gonna start them out at like 5-minute increments, and then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna switch the racks. So yeah, every 5 minutes I'm gonna switch the racks, maybe, flip over the chicken wings. And that looks like a very hearty meat you got there. Oh, thank you. Get obsessed. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for that to stop and do its thing. And in the meantime, we're gonna talk about anything you guys want to talk about. We got 71 people in the stream today. We're making chicken wings in the vortex. It's an amazing air fryer. I noticed everybody else in the carnivore community, they seem to like the basket type air fryers, and I understand why after trying to clean this one here, because I have to like wait for that thing to cool down, get inside, do a whole bunch of wiping down to get things if I got any splatter going on. But this is an incredible air fryer, and there's a lot of them around. If you have one, it's a great idea to use it, but learning how to use an air fryer took me a little bit of time. And I also noticed that when anybody gets a new air fryer on social media, they brag about it for seems like for a month or so. And my cat is coming, one of them. Okay, I'm gonna throw this. There we go, I got it in the sink. That was cool. Let's see. Hey, mate, who is that? Carnivore Journey. Hey, I appreciate you dropping in. If anybody is new here and wants to learn anything more about being a morbidly obese type person that's trying to lose weight as fast as possible and become more physically active just in their own personal life, I mean, that's what I do. That's the stuff I share. I'm Big Man, Alaska. I live here in Anchorage, Alaska. I try to share my weight loss journey, just so people can see my experience, how I struggled, how everything has been going. Sometimes I have successful weeks. Sometimes I have really horrible weeks where I've been known to rebound and actually gain some weight. But I think the most important part of sharing that process is to hopefully motivate people that do have a rebound to get back on and say, all right, we're going to do this, but we're going to do it harder next time. We're going to do this, and we're just going to keep doing, every time that we trip and fall. Because if I didn't get back on after I tripped and falled, I'd be back up to 435 pounds in no time, probably less than a month or two. I heard a beep. So we're going to go shake you guys like a snow globe. And I don't know why I got to press that button 2 times. Hey, there's my dog. Hi, Sadie. My dog is getting unfortunately old. So we're going to pop this open and get this set up. We're going to take the first rack and we're going to put it right up here on the top. Now we're going to take the second rack and we're going to put it all the way on the bottom of this and get this thing, boom, back in there. And I think it automatically starts. Hopefully, I think it should tell me when it's time to turn it. I think that's what happens when the wife uses it, but I really don't know. It's a really compact unit. Let's see, it's about a foot, so it's about 1.5 feet wide. It's about 1.5 feet deep. And by the way, this thing gets ripping hot. So I'm gonna need to get some tongs out. And I have some over here. How handy. I just washed them this morning. Imagine that. A full-grown man actually doing dishes. That should be a video in itself because most people don't get the opportunity to watch a man wash dishes. But we do sometimes. And it's kind of interesting. I started my 72-hour fast Carnivore Journey. Well, I hope that goes well for you, Carnivore Journey, because that's a pretty long fast. Let's see, 72 hours, what's that, 3 days? That's a perfect time frame. Now, if I were to recommend a beginner type fast to anybody that wants to hurry up and just jumpstart losing water retention, inflammation, and stuff like that, I would definitely recommend a 72-hour fast of some sort. And I also go over topics of how to fast while eating food, because you can totally get into a ketogenic fasting state while eating food. Okay, that's important. People hear the word fast and they freak the hell out, to holy high hell. They don't understand it because they never looked into it. They don't know why it works. They don't know how it works. They don't know how to do it sustainably. And it used to be a practice that almost all religions around the globe, they do fasting, all of them. You know, anybody from Mormons to Christians to Catholics to Muslims to everybody, all the religions do a fast. And they do it for a reason, because we need to slow down, we need to reset our gut. Sometimes, and the intestines, it replaces the lining every so many hours. And I'm not a doctor, so I can't, say exactly how all that works, but I do know that the intestinal lining replaces itself pretty quickly. So if you give yourself a break from food for a little while, because not every day is a Thanksgiving dinner. And that's where I was screwing up, because I got away from my religion for a long time. I wasn't praying to God. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't have any spiritual, advisors. I do now. I have a very reliable spiritual advisor. She always answers the phone about 8 o'clock in the morning whenever I'm on my way to work. We have a little talk. We might do a little prayer, and we just try to figure out, what's going on. What's going on with me, what's going on with my spiritual journey and stuff like that, where I'm going to end up. And that all intertwines into better health. Now, if you're not spiritual, there's also other options, which is meditation. You don't have to be spiritual to do this stuff. If you sit there and meditate on the idea that, hey, this week I am going to lose weight. This is my plan. This is how I'm going to start the plan. And this is my expectations, which need to be realistic by the time you get to the end of it. And yeah, you're going to see some results if you start doing it even that way. So it's not 100% restrictive to, you have to be religious, but being religious helps. It helps a lot. Praying is what got me started in losing weight in the first place, because like I said in the beginning, I was praying for God to take me in my sleep so I wouldn't be a burden to my family. And I was hoping for that, because I was so morbidly obese. I was stuck in bed. I had a problem wiping my own butt. I had a problem taking showers. I had a problem staying clean. I stunk to holy high hell because I was eating all the wrong foods. I don't smell anymore. I mean, if I have any body odor or any type of scent from anywhere, it's because I put too many spices into my foods. And that's the only thing. Like if I have too much garlic, I'm going to have dragon breath for a little while until the garlic's out of my system. And the garlic's going to come out of every place. It's going to come out from under your arms. It's going to come out of your feet. It's going to come from behind the ears. All the whatnot places that you can think of. Even your private bits will start to smell similar to garlic. So that's just from personal experience. So this is one thing I love about the carnivore diet, is I noticed right away pretty quickly. And I wasn't even doing 100% carnivore. I was doing 90-10 eating principles, which was 90-10 meats and fats, 10% I love my life. So I was just, the 10% was just like, okay, maybe one item per day was a little bit off the rails, but that was it. And I was staying, hopefully in a ketogenic type area of my diet, and it was working. I was gaining a lot of experience. I was gaining a lot of positive benefits of what the carnivore diet provides. And I didn't understand what was happening to me and why until people started pointing out certain things from their own experience. And that was helpful. That was the community reaching out to me and saying, hey, have you experienced this before? Has this happened? So some of my off-scale victories with the carnivore diet is, for one, I have no more edema. My foot pain is gone. My swelling in my feet, I don't have to worry about putting my feet in my boots anymore. I can actually get up and walk around a whole lot easier. I'm not packing on as much weight anymore. I'm fully satiated when I eat every single meal, so I don't tend to snack. The convenience store, that's a thing of the past. I used to hit up the convenience stores, and here in Alaska, the convenience stores are similar to a truck stop in the lower 48. So if you were to visit a truck stop in the lower 48, minus the showers and laundromat and all, some of the convenience stores have a laundromat and showers, but not so many up here. But when you walk around a convenience store of any type, it's overly processed foods. It's a lot of sugary foods. There's a bunch of unhealthy options. And the only thing I would even consider about getting, and that's only in an emergency, in a convenience store, is water and maybe the beef jerky type treats, you know, beef sticks and stuff like that. But you got to be really, really thoughtful and really careful depending on what you're trying to do for yourself. So navigating a convenience store can be extremely difficult at times. About the only reason I step in a convenience store now is to either use the restroom or pay for my gas. That's about it. So who we got in here? No, I'm not going to say that. Let's see. I wanted to share the Book of Mormon with you guys. I really recommend trying out the Book of Mormon along with the Bible. They complement each other. I have read the Book of Mormon. There's a lot going on there, and I actually spent time in Salt Lake City. I spent a long time in Salt Lake City, and I was invited to some places that the average Joe really shouldn't have been allowed to go according to Mormon law and stuff like that. So I got to visit a lot of really cool stuff. When I was in Salt Lake City, I got to visit some really cool families. I got to learn, because this was this was part of my spiritual journey when I was a truck driver in the lower 48. So I was constantly visiting new churches, different religions, trying to figure out my own religion, because I wasn't questioning it. I was mainly looking out and trying to find the comparisons between all of them. You know, we got Buddhists, we got Muslims, we got Mormons, we got Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sorry, but yeah, there's a lot of extremes out there, and there's a lot of extreme religious people that go completely off the walls in every single religion, and I've met quite a few. The creepiest experience I had, I think it was in Mississippi. I got invited to, it was a church. It was from a truck stop, and I was invited there. Oh, remind me of this. We gotta go take care of. Come on, flip around. I don't know why I have to hit that button twice. That's so annoying. We're gonna take these out. Now the nice thing about this setup here is that, all right, we're gonna do it this way and take you out, is that this bottom here, you can actually just set something right on top of that. And these racks really aren't very heavy, and you can just carefully slide that in there. Now this is piping hot. All of this is piping hot. Now I can get my tongs under there. And if I burn myself, I'll be doing it live and I won't be able to edit it out. So we're gonna pop that back in. It's gonna restart. Oh, got a cough. Okay, so we just flipped it. It's gonna restart and do its process for like the next 4 minutes. And by the time everything's done, it should be perfect. But okay, we're back to the creepy experience I had when I was down in Mississippi, and I was invited to a church when I was staying in one of the truck stops down there. I can't remember the church or what neighbor I was in. That was so many years ago. But I was invited to a church by a nice family, and they had a van, and they used to frequent around the truck stops in these vans. You know, kind of like, you know, the creeper van. But this was you could tell it was a church van. And there were people that were extremely religious. They were just trying to, you know, share the word of God and the gospel and stuff like that, invite people to the church. It was a loving thing. So anyways, I got invited to this church. I went to the church, and as I was walking into the church, I noticed another church across the street. Like I said, religious journey, trying to figure out my own religion. Well, the church across the street, I was told, like, oh, well, that's a black church. We don't go there. And I was like, what? And growing up on the East Coast, we didn't do the whole racist nonsense or anything like that. I mean, there's racism everywhere. But I am a very open-minded person when it comes to that type of stuff. And I just got the wrong feeling about the church I was getting ready to walk into. And I shook everybody's hand. I appreciated the ride. I said, I will find a ride back, but I'm going to go visit that church across the street. Well, I went to that church across the street, and they were very welcoming. It was an all-black congregation. Incredibly interesting. And then the only creepy part of it was they locked the door once you got inside. It was, I don't know why they locked the door. That freaked me out a little bit. Didn't know. I was kind of looking for a window to jump out of at that point. So I was like, what did I walk into? And then when everything started happening, you know, they started going through the normal routine, talking about religion and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, people were, you know, dancing and jumping up and down. This was like a Protestant type church. I don't know if anybody's ever visited one, but they were doing all kinds of crazy things. People were rolling down on the floor. Some people were pretending they were talking in tongues and stuff like that. It was weird. So once that was over, I thanked everybody. I did get invited to a barbecue, and then after a while, they gave me a ride back to the truck stop, and it was a wonderful experience, even though it was freaky, because it was a bit extreme. But anyways, yeah, we got chickens cooking in the Insta vortex over here. That's going to be done here in a few minutes, and hopefully I'll get to try those. But the reason I made this live stream in the first place is because I was doing an extended fast of a 5-day fast. I was explaining a little bit about, okay, this is how I broke my fast, is I ate, a pickled egg, for instance, and then you wait a period of time. That gives your stomach enough time to create the bile necessary for digestion, and that'll get me hopefully set up well enough by the time these chicken wings are done. I'll get to actually enjoy them, because this house smelled amazing yesterday, and I cooked these in the oven. And that was an interesting experience, because I've never cooked up chicken wings before in my life. Typically I go out to the store and I pay like about the same price for chicken wings as I would pay for the bulk 40 pounds. I mean, it's amazing how affordable buying chicken wings is. So the processing of it was a little difficult, because the chicken wings come in these blue bags. I'm not sure, I think the bags are approximately 10-pound bags, but they're frozen solid together. So I had to put them in the sink, thaw them out, separate everything. I had to cut the wing tips off. I had to separate the drummies from the actual wing itself. And that took a little bit of practice. I did not know exactly how to do that. So this is what we're doing. Let's go back over here and grab these little buggers out of there and see what we got. All right, these should be completely done. Hopefully not. Oh yeah, these are, wow. Check it out. That looks beautiful. Holy smokes. Okay. So like I said, you can set this down safely on here. There's no plastic or seal or anything to melt. Get our plate set up. Holy cow, you hear that crackling sound? Oh, yes. So I'll grab these. I love the drummies. I know most people love the drummies too. But there's only seasoning on these. There's no oils, there's no seed oils. There's just some basic seasonings that I found around, some garlic, some pepper. One thing I do like to use is okay, the mess isn't that bad. I thought there would be a lot more mess in here. Now it would probably be a lot messier if these weren't pre-cooked. So that's another thing to consider. And this is what I got going on the plate over here. We're taking these beautiful little, oh, they look so good. I can't believe how beautiful these came out. Like I said, guys, this is the first time I have ever really used my air fryer for something like this. Normally I use like before, when I got this air fryer, I thought I was doing myself a favor by getting an air fryer. But what happened is I was eating really unhealthy back then at that time. We're just going to shove that back in there and let this thing cool down. And when it's cooled down, I'll give that thing a thorough cleaning. But yeah, check out that. That's like boss. Wow. I made that, guys. That's so cool. I'm kind of proud of myself. I feel like a little kid at home ec class, the first time I ever made a loaf of bread or something like that. Because I don't normally cook for myself. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is outstanding. It's too hot to touch right now. I wish I could touch it. I'm going to have to wait for it to sit a little bit before I can even try this. And that's totally awesome. Holy smokes. I wonder if I can get that sound. Oh, can you hear that? A little ASMR there for you. Woo. Boom. I'm happy with this. This is amazing. Like I said, I have never ever made chicken wings before in my entire life. I made a lot of chicken, but I've never made chicken wings, and I've never had them turn out like I would expect them if I bought them, from a store. Well, probably because I never made them before. Now, I've made a lot of drumsticks over the years and stuff like that. Chicken breast, crazy. Yeah, cool down. I want to eat you. I want to at least try you. You look perfect. Huh. Now, this is what I would expect if I were to go out to a restaurant and spend 40 bucks. Totally. Now, 40 bucks is what I got 40 pounds worth of these wings for, and it didn't really take that much time. So I pre-cooked all of these in the oven beforehand. I did that last night because I was fasting. I was bored. I was looking for things to do. I had plenty of pickled eggs already made up and stored away in the fridge. So I was like, all right, I'm breaking my fast tomorrow. I'm going to set the stage. I'm going to pre-cook something. And, on the carnivore plane, like I said, there's no seed oils on here. I didn't spray anything on these. I didn't even put butter. And when I cooked them in the oven, I just added some random seasonings I had, garlic or pepper, salt. Ooh, I need salt. There we go. Now I got two favorite salts that I like to use. This here is Himalayan salt. Comes in a handy little grinder. And I like this one better than the last Himalayan salt that I had because it's got a ceramic grinder instead of a plastic grinder. I didn't like the idea of using a plastic grinder trying to grind salt. I thought it's going to knock down little plastic pieces in there. Ceramic will pass through the system if you get a little tiny piece of that. It's kind of like sand, the natural minerals you'd find in salt anyways. So that's why I got this stuff here. And I got this here in Anchorage at the Natural Pantry. And then my other favorite salt, and I need to order some more of this. I'm probably going to have to order it online because the stores here run out of this stuff quickly. This is a very popular salt item in all type of dietary aspects. Redmond's real salt. This is just the plain stuff. Now I love this. Now my favorite Redmond salt it's called the seasoned salt. That is so good when you put that on burgers. Now the overtone of the Redmond seasoned salt, if you can find it, I know you can order it on Amazon. Try it, because that stuff, you put it on burgers, and if you're cooking burgers on the grill or in your pan, it gives you that overtone. And this is it's a healthy option, by the way, too. It gives you the overtone in the air of that unhealthy ramen noodle package, like the beef or chicken ramen noodle package you dump in there. It gives you that kind of scent in the air, but it's healthier. Yay. Now another option that I also like is this right here. This is Redmond's real salt, garlic salt. And I use a lot of garlic. I use a lot of salt. Why not? That just makes sense, right? Yeah. I mean, good stuff there. I'm not going to put garlic salt on top of these. But I think I put a little bit of garlic on some of this. So this little handy deal here, like I said, it's got that nice little ceramic grinder on the top. And I can just flip it over. And wow, it works pretty good. I like this. I haven't used it very much because I bought it and then I went straight into a fast. So there's a lot of stuff in this house that I went and bought. We did a Costco meat haul. Bought $281 worth of random meat products. And yeah, we totally wrecked it when we went into the Costco Business Center. I was just buying bulk meat. Now, if I were to buy that same amount of meat at a traditional grocery store, yeah, I'd be broke. I mean, that would have been well over a $500 grocery haul, maybe more. It could have been $600 or $700 worth of meat. And we got all kinds of meat. I got all beef hot dogs. The Costco hot dogs really aren't that bad for you. They're actually one of the healthiest hot dogs that I've found. I mean, unless you can get them specifically packaged for your own specific needs. So I'm not dead set against those. They aren't a staple in my life. They're something I enjoy once in a while. One of my favorite things is the Alaska reindeer sausage. That is very good. I have lost a lot of weight just eating Alaska reindeer sausage. And that's kind of how I got my carnivore journey started anyways, is because people noticed that I was eating at least 90% meats and fats. And they were like, hey, why don't you try the carnivore diet? And at that time, I didn't believe anything to be true about the carnivore diet. I didn't think that the carnivore diet was a good thing. I thought it was a fad diet. It's the furthest thing from a fad diet. I mean, it's a healthy, sustainable way to live. And if you're an overeater or a binge eater, which I am, you see, I can eliminate this entire plate here. No problem. And I could go get more and eat some more. That's how much binge eating I can do. I can almost safely binge eat without dramatically gaining weight. So that's where the carnivore diet also works in. Now, my typical meal that I would make throughout the week, after I get out of work or even for lunch, is frozen hamburger patties. Now, if I go down to the Costco Business Center, I can purchase these big tubes. I don't know. I think it's what, 10-pound tube or something like that. But it's only like $30. It's like $2.99 a pound for ground beef, or maybe less. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But it's a lot of meat. It's a lot of meat, and I can make about 24 burger patties. You know, pretty healthy fat burger patties, not all the same size. And then I can make the burger patties. I put them, 4 of them, in a Ziploc bag. That way they stack flat in the freezer, and I just freeze them. Now, whatever freezer, burn gets on them, that's just from the moisture coming out of the burger patties itself. I don't worry about that. I don't sweat that. If there's too much freezer, residue on there, the white stuff, the ice, you can always run it under the kitchen water, and that gets all of that off, and that's just fine. And I pan fry them. Now, I use a ceramic pan that works similar to a Dutch oven. And I happened to buy this pan here at Fred Meyer, and they had a sale on these because apparently these aren't very popular, but this thing is super heavy. I'm thinking it's almost 10 pounds of cast iron, ceramic coated cast iron. But the thing I like most about this thing is that the lid, it's really tight seal around the edge, and it's super heavy. I mean, this is a cast iron lid, super heavy. So everything inside this pan, and pardon the brownness, that's just what happens to these ceramic coated ones. But it works similar to a Dutch oven, so it's constantly recirculating the heat. The moisture is coming right back down onto the burgers. So when the burgers are done cooking, I have a very, very juicy burger. And it's got all it's cooking in its own fat, it's cooking in its own juices. And the only time the moisture really escapes is when I take this lid off. And I usually flip my burgers about 4 times, and I cook them on extremely low heat. So yeah, just low heat. That's how I start them. That's how as soon as I start them, I kind of forget about them for a while. And then when I start hearing some noises, I'll go back over there and check it out. And then, I'll open them up, flip the burgers. Now, quite often I will season them in between flips. But I usually wait until the top side of the burger actually has it shows that it's cooking. So I don't want to season it before the top side starts to get that, bubbly look, where the fats are cooking up through the burger. It's just, it's bomb. And my kids like it cooked that way too. I mean, whenever we do a burger night, on the fence, like, hey, you're eating my food because that's all I eat, but it's good. It's healthy for them. Granted, they're eating buns and stuff like that, but they're eating a healthy type meal. I mean, they might put some cheese or something like that on it. I have gotten pretty much away from the cheese. I haven't had cheese in, I don't know, it's been a while now since I actually had some cheese in my carnivore diet. Out of the way. That thing's heavy, by the way. If you were to smack, that's a weapon. I mean, if somebody were to walk in your house, you could totally knock them out with that. So these are all spiced differently. So every single one is going to be like a little special treat because I don't know what spice is on which one. And yeah, let's check this out. Oh, it's hot. Oh, boom. Holy cow, why didn't I start doing this myself like a long freaking time ago? So much cheaper. A little bit under $40 for 40 pounds of these. Toss them in your freezer. They come in their own individual 10-pound bags. You can make them whenever you get a chicken wing craving. Like I said, I cooked these in the oven first, and I put them away so they had a chance to rest and calm down. And then I just reheated them in the vortex air fryer. And the cook time on these was in the air fryer was approximately, I think it was set up for 12 minutes. And then it asked me to flip them around the 4-minute mark. So 4 minutes, finished them up, after I, moved the trays around. But bomb, this is boss right here. This is total carnivore type eating, the best way we can possibly do. Now, I don't rely on chicken for the carnivore diet. So this is kind of like a treat. So if I were to have a 100% carnivore way of eating, and I wanted to call it a 90%, meats and fats, which would be like ruminant beef and stuff like that, and then 10% whatever. This would be part of that 10%. So I would do this like once or twice a week, and then I would have the rest of the week, ruminant type meats, like ground beef, steaks, make a beef stew. But yeah, because chicken doesn't really provide enough fat. It does provide some calories, so you can get plenty of calories in this plate. Oh, that's so crunchy. Holy cow. Huh. How did I do that? I don't do stuff right ever the first time I do it. Amazing. Yeah, totally try this, guys. I mean, this is nuts. Nothing fancy about this. I didn't even pat dry the chicken before I started, putting the seasoning. I saw so many videos. I was trying to figure out, how do you make chicken wings? I don't know how to make chicken wings, by the way. So I had to learn, over the last week of fasting and stuff like that, trying to figure out how to make these somewhat reliably the first time. And then my own little personal experiment, which was away from everybody else's advice, worked out like that. That's good stuff there. Huh. Okay. I am not upset. I am like a happy fat kid sitting at Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of the experience I'm having here, but this is a healthy version. What? And that's the fun part about doing the carnivore diet, is you can have totally healthy options, but they can taste freaking fabulous. When the whole take out the fat of everybody, everybody was like, you got to reduce the fat, you got to reduce this, you got to, remove the salts from your world. I have not removed salt from anything. If anything, I've added way more salt. And I really want to just stomp on the toes of some of those doctors that get here online and they're preaching, you need to like remove all the salt out of your diet. Well, guess what? You remove all the salt out of your diet, well, you're going to become electrolyte deficient. This is scientifically proven stuff, by the way. When you become electrolyte deficient, you die a really miserable death. So don't become electrolyte deficient. If you're going to add salt or, have any type of sodium in your diet, you want the healthy stuff. You want the healthy salt. Because if you can look real closely at this stuff, you can see it's got a gravelly appearance. And that gravelly appearance is the minerals. That's what you want. And this Himalayan pink salt, it gets that pink color because there's something in the dirt that surrounds the salt that makes it a pink color. I don't know why it's got a pink color. I've never figured that out. I don't really care to research it, or it doesn't matter. It's Himalayan pink salt, to me, has kind of a sweet flavor, and it has an amazing texture. It has a little bit of a crunch, and this is the kind of salt I like to add on top of my stuff. Celtic sea salt, Celtic sea salt. I don't care how you pronounce it. Doesn't matter. I grew up on the East Coast, so we had the Celtics basketball team. But Celtic sea salt, for instance, I like that for cooking in water. Because I've tried putting it on food, and it gives me a earthy, really, really beachy, earthy type sensation of I'm a little kid at the beach and I just got mowed down by a freaking wave, and my face and my nostrils are just full of seawater. So when I ate some food with that on it, it brought me right back to my childhood of being at the beach on the East Coast and not paying attention and getting just almost drowned by a wave, and tumbling through the sand and all of that, and you're just in the white stuff. It was ridiculous. Okay, I haven't got into the drummy yet. Well, this is the drummy, but all right. Okay, that's amazing. Boom. Okay, get rid of that. I'm trying not to get too messy here with this. I'm gonna have to put these to the side, but these are cooked absolutely perfectly. Wow. I never thought in a million years making a video about, or doing a live stream, experimenting with my lack of cooking skills on camera would be so much fun to share. But this is a good one. I enjoy this one here. Probably because I didn't mess it up. I don't know how. It's got to be the chicken fat, because I didn't put anything on these. I didn't put any oil. I didn't put any butter. I just put seasoning on it. And it has that flavor like it was deep fried. Like seriously, deep fried and breaded. That's kind of the texture I have on the top. Yeah, nuts. So I cooked these in the oven, and when I cooked them in the oven, so the first go around, I put them in there for 22 minutes in the oven. I had 2 baking sheets that were lined with tin foil to hopefully, calm down the splatter mess from these little guys. And I had it up on these little, kind of like a wire, cooking rack to elevate it off of the tin foil. That way, these weren't directly touching either the pan or the tin foil, because when they do touch stuff like that, they stick. I know that much from cooking drumsticks. I made that mistake. I cooked drumsticks in the oven and they stick to anything, especially tin foil. You got to try to peel the tin foil off, and it sucks. It's like, oh, why did I even do this? I should learn how to cook before I start cooking at times, but I was hungry, and that's how us full-grown men make mistakes, because we're not always in the kitchen trying to learn this stuff. So the first go around, I put them in there, and there were two baking sheets full on top of wire racks of these right here. I pre-seasoned them all. I did not pat them dry, by the way. So, and then I took them out and I swapped them around. And then my second go around, I put them back in the oven. Oh, this 350. I started at 375 degrees, is because I just pull stuff out of my rear sometimes, because I literally don't know what I'm doing. So about 375 degrees. The first go around was about 22 minutes in the oven on the wire racks and just seasoned, not patted dry. And then I just swapped the placement in the oven. And after that, I put them back in for 25 minutes and pulled them out after that. And then I upped the temperature to 425. And then I pulled both racks out. And as the oven was coming up to 425, I was flipping these over. Like, it's a pain in the butt too. You're just trying to flip each one over and not throw them on the floor and let the dogs or cats tear after them. And then I put them back in for another 10 minutes. And then I looked at them another 5 minutes. So yeah, we got 22 minutes, 25 minutes, 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes, whatever time that is. That's quite a while. So a little over an hour of cook time on these. And then I let them rest for a while. And I put them in Tupperwares to save for today when I broke my fast. That's a special dinner here. It's $2.99 for me. Are we talking about the hamburger, Lily? Or $2.59? I would have already ate all of those wings. I have a hard time eating all these wings and talking at the same time, because could you imagine choking on these in the middle of a live stream? Wow, that'd be great. I mean, I'm sure people would subscribe for that, maybe. I don't know. But you never know what I'm going to do week to week, because I come up with the silliest ideas, but I try to talk about what I'm doing and share my experience with weight loss and type of food eating. And this is a good carnivore healthy option. It's laughable because the way it tastes really unhealthy, but it's not. This is no more unhealthy than eating bacon. And since I've been on the carnivore diet, I have eliminated so many pounds of bacon. I mean, I had weeks where that was like almost all I was eating was bacon. And I thought for sure that was going to kill me. And I was like, you know what? All right, these guys say that you can eat bacon. I love bacon. So we were wrecking up bacon for a long time. Now, pork products in general, even chicken, they tend to slow down my weight loss progress. I might even gain some weight because I ate these. It shouldn't be too bad, because I'm gonna go back to ruminant type meats for the rest of the week. So I'm gonna be eating stuff like burger patties. I might break out some of the frozen steaks, but it's all in a big solid chunk. So I'm gonna have to do that really strategically, because I'm not gonna eat the whole steak put together. I'm gonna have to cut it up, slice it. I don't know how to do that, guys. I don't know how to cut meats like a professional person that's making steaks. So I'll be making a lot of mistakes when I do that. I'll most likely do a video about that, because why not? People love to laugh at people, and I'm okay with people laughing at me, because I'm a funny looking guy. But guess what? 44 weeks ago, I looked a lot funnier. So it's kind of a win-win either way. Okay. And even the meat right down to the bone has that, like it was just deep fried type flavor. Holy crap. Wow. Never, ever did I think I would come up with a way of making something so absolutely delicious. And since there's a lot of people that have been coming and going throughout this stream, I'm going to show you. This is what I use to break my fast. And I also want to eat another one of these because it's so good. So these are some of the pickled eggs that I made in a previous live stream. And that's available if anybody's curious, like, hey, how do you make that? If you go to the description section of that live stream, you will find the recipe. It's just a basic recipe. So you can add, take away stuff. You can use your own personal, different twists on this, but super fun idea, super fun project. You can do this with kids. I mean, it's simple, it's tasty. The hardest part about making pickled eggs is leaving them the hell alone, because you make them and then you see them there and you're like, oh, those look good. But trust me, 7 days, at least 7 days. If you can go longer, they're just going to get better throughout the month. So if you can actually let these sit for maybe a month, and this is why I make several different batches. So I'll make one batch, like I did it this time, and then I'll go for a little bit longer, and then I'll make another batch. That way I can rotate between the jars. So when I have this jar completely gone, I can make more eggs and put them in there, and then I can start munching on the other jar. And it's just, yeah, it's kind of like the beef au jus roller coaster of when you take your meats and fats and you just save the renderings and your bacon grease, and then you just add it all. But wow, look at that. And isn't that like Easter egg beautiful? That's yellow. And the star of the show, the star of the show ingredient is actually turmeric. And turmeric gives it that wonderful color. There's garlic. I got dill in here. Now I do have some peppers and onions in there. And that's just for color. It makes it look pretty in the jar. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think it's pretty. I did go a little bit overboard on the spices, but that's totally okay because it's a little cloudy and it's good. Like this brine here, this doesn't get moldy. It doesn't go bad. So you can just keep reusing this brine over and over and over again because it's primarily apple cider vinegar, and you can use white vinegar too. You just want to make sure you're using the higher acidity type vinegars out there. But yeah, this is good stuff here. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Now normally, like this here, this is a hard-boiled egg. Let's see, is that gonna work? I don't know. I see people doing this on the internet and it works for them. But this hard-boiled egg was boiled for 12 minutes and it kind of fully cooked. Now normally I do it for 11 minutes, but since these were the brown eggs that I bought at Costco at a really decent price, it was like a $11.99 for 60 eggs. It was something like that. I'm gonna have to go back and double check, but it was incredibly inexpensive, and it was actually cheaper than buying the white eggs because right now I'm on a budget, so I'm buying stuff on a budget. And if I have to get the white eggs, I'll get them. But if I can afford the brown eggs, absolutely, I'm gonna buy the brown eggs in bulk all day long because they're bigger. They come in all different sizes if you buy them at the Costco Business Center. They're like big fat ones, and some are a little bit smaller. And the shells are a lot harder, but it has a lot more nutrients in the brown eggs than we can get in the white eggs. I don't know the science behind it. I've just been told that. So we'll see. I see a little activity going on here. Tasty eat. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Hope. Thank you there. Hello, brother from Russia. Hey, what's up, neighbor? We have a lot of Russians that live here. A lot of Russians, a lot of Ukrainians. Everybody gets along here, by the way. Alaska is the most diverse population you can find in the entire country because we have a little bit of everybody here. We have people from the islands. We have people from all over the world that live here, and we all get along. Go figure. Like I was wondering too when the whole Ukraine thing took off, and now we're dealing with that freaking circle over there. But how the local population was going to get along. Guess what? They all like each other. Maybe not necessarily like each other personally, but they don't fight. They all get along. That's awesome news. I mean, I like that because I was a little bit concerned. I was like, man, are we going to have silly fights in the streets over what's going on over there? Or are they just going to be happy to be here and be glad that they're not dealing with that mess? Because I know a lot of them, they go back and forth. And I do know a lot of Russian families here. And I met them when I was working for Geneva Woods and I was doing healthcare type stuff. And I loved them. I thought they were fantastic. They're very private, very private. They don't like to share family details. But they had beautiful homes, very expensive homes. Like maybe sometimes 2 to 3 families would live in a big, gigantic home. And they do extremely well. I mean, that's just how it is. They love it here. And I don't blame them for loving it here because Alaska's a great place. And is what it is. Hi, John. Did you make that chicken or buy it somewhere? Jill King. Actually, I bought this when I did that Costco meat haul. So I bought a big giant box. I had 40 pounds of chicken wings in it. I've never bought chicken wings this way. So last night I wanted to pre-cook these chicken wings in the oven. And these were 99 cents a pound. So I got 40 pounds of chicken wings for 99 cents a pound. And I knew nothing about processing chicken wings. I knew nothing about cooking chicken wings for myself. I spent about 2 to 3 days trying to come up with my own idea. And this is what I came up with. Now I pre-cooked them, and I like this idea. So pre-cook them one day in the oven, and then I put them away in Tupperwares in the fridge so they sat all night. And then I broke them out again, and I heated them up in the air fryer over here, the vortex air fryer, which I've never used really, by the way, except for making stuff like burritos. And I thought I was doing a healthy choice when I did that. But yeah, so I cooked them in the air fryer for about 12 minutes to reheat them. At about 4 minutes, it asked me to swap the positions of them. So the top went to the bottom, the bottom went to the top, and then they cooked for an additional 4 minutes. And yeah, they got. You just need to go away. There, just like that. But they have this beautiful. Oh yeah, you can hear that. That beautiful texture. And when you bite into them, they're just like amazing. And I didn't put any oils. I didn't put any butter. The only thing I put on these things was seasonings, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. These are absolutely wonderful, by the way. And again, my favorite things are the drummies. I like this part right here. Oh, if I could share these with you guys, I would, because these are worth talking about here. I'm gonna have to write down what I did and do a video. And maybe I can screw that up too. I almost cut one of my fingers off when I was processing the wings, because I got to cut the wings. So I got a really good cut right there. That's from the scissors. Remember when I said something about choking on a piece of chicken on live stream? There we go. I just won that award. Yeah. All right, leave it to me to screw something up. If there's a way to screw something up, I'm going to figure it out, guys. Okay. I need some water. I need some water like now. Like yesterday now. Wow, that was almost like a travesty on camera. What in the world? That's embarrassing. Huh. Yeah, that's almost as embarrassing as being a fat man that gets up out of a chair and then you got half your belly showing down here and you're just like walking around. I did that a little bit on my video yesterday. I saw that. It's on my jelly roll hanging out the bottom. And I was like, I could edit that out, but what's the point? People know that I'm still fat. I mean, I'm still right around 300 pounds. I just graduated to the 200 club, by the way, yesterday. So yeah, I started out at 435 pounds. I just got back down below 300 pounds again for the third time in this weight loss journey. I lost count. I think it's the third time. Might have been more, but I don't care anymore. I'm just focusing on getting healthy and staying healthy and making better choices for myself. And since the wings are kind of the star of the show, I gotta have them in here. We also have the pickled eggs. These are, yeah, do these, by the way. They're great healthy snack. Keto friendly, by the way. Absolutely keto friendly. So even if you're not carnivore, yeah, great keto snack. And the way I made these was totally keto friendly too, I think. I don't know. I don't know. Keto really confused me. That's why I got away from the keto type lifestyle, because I was running up against too many confusing walls. Similar to when I was experimenting with a vegan diet, and it was it was just too complicated. Like, oh, you got to cook these vegetables, but not cook these vegetables. And if you cook these vegetables, you lose all the nutrients. So you only want to cook them to this temperature or that temperature, and then you got to eat this vegetable on top because then you're missing out on this or that. And really, eating meat is not that complicated. Um, if I'm deficient anywhere, it might be in electrolytes, and that's only because I didn't put enough salt on my food or make my own electrolyte drink, for instance. I mean, seriously, it's not that, it isn't complicated. I'm never taking, I don't have to take B12 supplements anymore either, because with all the meats and fats I've been eating, it put me well in the above average range of B12. And if you're B12 deficient, that's when you start having thyroid issues and you start having just random medical stuff going on in your body. And vegans have to source out their B12 supplements. That's not fun. And you got to trust somebody else that puts something in a container, for you to take. You got to trust that that source is actually vegan sourced when it's cheaper to get B12 out of meat. Do you really trust the people supplying your stuff to provide you a B12 supplement that's not animal based? And I'm not against people that are doing vegan. Eat your vegetables. If you feel great eating a vegan diet and you think that's the way to go, eat your vegetables. I mean, if you don't like animal products, fine. I get it. But there's a lot to talk about there. And there's not a lot. I don't want to argue about it either because it's just nonsense. Vegans arguing with carnivores, carnivores arguing with vegans. Well, guess what? If you're getting healthy and you're a vegan, I am on board with you. Yes. If you're getting healthy, I'm getting healthy on carnivore. Please be on board with what I'm doing because I feel great. Went down the vegan trail. Didn't work for me, didn't like it. It's even when I started carnivore, I thought it was absolute nonsense. The same way I thought vegan eating was absolute nonsense. And until I found my own path and I started eliminating certain things and adding certain things back. And a lot of that happened with fasting alone. It didn't happen with a vegan diet and it didn't happen with a carnivore diet when I started figuring these particulars out. So when I started fasting, I was eliminating everything. It was literally just ultimate elimination of food altogether. And I was severely carb addicted at that time, by the way. And I found out that, I broke one of my fasts with a salad, and that salad drove me almost like a freight train into the pantry. And I was looking for sugary crap. I was wanting bread. I was wanting cookies. That was just from a salad. And I ate 2 big giant bowls of salad. I had a little bit of everything. I had some cheese. I had a little bit of protein in there. I had lettuce, tomatoes, onions, peppers, you name it. Just a lot of stuff in that salad. 2 giant bowls. I was ravenously hungry. And I was immediately in the pantry, totally screwing up any fasting process or possibilities that I had going on for that week. And what a mistake. I mean, it was just like, really? Lettuce. Just lettuce in that salad, and the carbs from that salad triggered an addictive type response. Now I did that experiment later on because, with just lettuce to see what would happen. This is after a period of time, throughout this weight loss journey, I've done a ton of really weird experiments to see what makes what happen to me. I also pay attention to the moods I'm in, if I'm happy, sad, glad, because we eat for every reason. Now, if we're eating for our emotions, we're going to tend to overeat because, we have how many emotions in a day? If you're upset, you eat. If you're happy, you're eating. If you're having a birthday celebration, you're eating. If you're having a dinner party, you're eating. And then you have all the distractions, vending machines and stuff like that. You're on break. You're looking for just something to do. And so you walk up to the vending machine. And half of those options in the vending machine aren't healthy anyways. And we tend to go after, let's say what is it? Those Danishes. I used to love eating those Danishes because they were big. And I felt like I was getting my money's worth because I was buying something big, compared to buying like beef sticks that are small. Well, all in all, the beef sticks are the healthier option in that vending machine, even though they cost $1.50. But you can get like 2 of those freaking Danishes, for like 75 cents each. So you get 2 for the price of whatever you bought the beef sticks for. So you see where I'm going there. But the beef sticks, even though they're small, they're going to fill you up more than the 2 Danishes. And this is stuff I've been learning as I've been losing weight and sharing this journey. And I don't come up with this stuff all by myself. This is stuff I've been taught This is stuff I've actually. So when I get taught something, I research it. You know, if somebody comes into my community, say, hey, check this out. By the way, you know, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And you know, if somebody offers me a product, the first thing I do is like, all right, I'm gonna go check that product out. I'm gonna see what's in it. I'm gonna see where it's made. I'm gonna check to see what ingredients actually go into it. What's the backstory of the company? How do you advertise your product, for instance? If you have pictures of doctors, you know, holding up an item saying, hey, you need to try this, and I'm standing there in a doctor's uniform, guess what I'm going after next? I'm looking for that doctor. I'm finding like images of that doctor. Is that person a doctor? And sometimes I found out that person is a doctor, but they're a foot doctor. They know nothing about nutrition. All they know about is calluses and foot fungus. And they don't tend to promote anything to prevent the foot fungus because they want customers at times. It's crazy, 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 crazy. Let's see what's going on here. If you're upset, do a line that always loses weight. There are some benefits to that. I'm not going to argue. I think that's how a lot of the politicians stay alive, in my opinion, because when you guys remember when they found cocaine in the White House? I mean, I was laughing. I don't know about the rest of you guys in the country. They found cocaine in the White House, and everybody automatically looking at, you know, Joe Biden's son. And I'm like, there's an entire White House of cocaine heads that come in there every day. And they do this stuff because it keeps them alive. I mean, you're not going to catch those guys, you know, eating nasty food all the time. They're eating some of the best foods, and they're doing a lot of coke because that's what they do. The rich people like them, the elites, they can afford the cocaine. We can't. And the only people that typically get busted with cocaine are those that are selling over the top of somebody else that's already approved to sell coke in their neighborhood. But we're not here to talk about that. That's just, you know, conspiracy. I got a tinfoil hat on type stuff that I actually know something about. But a lot of Alaska was actually paid with drug money, by the way. I mean, if you wonder, you know, how a lot of things happen, neighborhoods were built. Yeah, that's where it came from. You know, the selling of cocaine, marijuana. Wasilla is one of those places, by the way. Anyhow, let's see. Anything else going on in here? I eat everything. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm currently 180, been up to 250 and low of 115. That's playback error said that. That's fantastic. Guess what? I was like you too for many, many years. I was eating everything. Nothing made me fat. Nothing, you know, made me feel sick. But over a period of time, that changes, and you're just might not be there yet. So if you're 50 years old or up in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you can do that, bravo, that's miraculous. But I don't really find that to be true because people that are, you know, between the ages of 18 and 35 typically have a pretty good time with eating everything, wrecking it up, because that's when I did. I mean, I was pretty healthy. I was gaining weight, but I wasn't gaining that much weight to get me up to 435 pounds. I didn't really start getting super heavy until I got up here to Alaska. And then I started making a lot of money. And when you make a lot of money, you tend to go out to eat more and you tend to choose the unhealthier options. But yeah, it was hard to stay healthy as an over-the-road truck driver in the lower 48, driving a big truck, because a lot of times we get stuck at places, these big warehouses like Walmart, some of the other big places, paper mills and stuff like that. They don't have any food options. I mean, you're lucky to use a restroom at some of these places. And then when you go inside, the only thing available, you're lucky to have a drinking fountain and a restroom, but all they have for options is a vending machine. So I was stuck at a Walmart distribution center one time for 3 days. The only thing I had to eat was vending machine food for 3 freaking days. I mean, that was horrible. Walmart does not care about truck drivers. They only care about their own truck drivers. They don't care about any of the other ones. They just stomp on you. And if you have to use the bathroom, sometimes they lock the door. And then if you get caught going to the bathroom in the parking lot, well, guess what? You get banned from the premises. And I watched people do that at times. They couldn't hold it anymore. The door was locked. They couldn't use the restroom. They didn't put a porta potty outside, so they had to go outside, and they got banned from the parking lot and kicked out. And that sucked. What are you eating? Chicken. Yeah, these are chicken wings that I made. I pre-made these yesterday in the oven, and then I didn't put anything on them except for spices, just like garlic, salt, pepper, stuff like that. No oils, no butter, nothing. I just put them in there. I pre-cooked them. Let's see, for over an hour. I had a whole little cycle process I thought was kind of appropriate, and at one point I flipped them all over and put them back in there for another period of time. And then I literally just took them out after they cooled down. I put them in Tupperwares, tossed them in the fridge because I was still fasting until 9:30 this morning. And I broke my fast, my 5-day water fast, with these pickled eggs. So I ate a pickled egg at the very beginning of this live stream here. And then I started the process of making these in the air fryer. So I have an instant vortex right over my shoulder here, and that's what I used. And I don't typically use that thing. I don't use it for anything. But now that I cleared off enough counter space, I can actually pull it out and use it. And it's super handy. I like it. It made these fast. It made these, it reheated these in about 12 minutes at 400 degrees. So the first cycle went until about 4 minutes remaining. We just switched the trays, and then they came out looking like this, super crunchy, super crispy, absolute mouth watering all the way down to the bone. I mean, these taste like they were deep fried. They taste like they were made in a restaurant. And we got a lot of wing places here in town. And just this plate right here would cost me about $32 to $40, depending on the restaurant, the local wing places and stuff like that. Even Papa John's, I've ordered wings from Papa John's, and they cost a lot. And this was bulk purchase at Costco. They got big cases of 40 pounds of chicken wings, unprocessed, but they come in these blue bags that are individual bags, and they're 10-pound bags. But it was 99 cents a pound for this, and it just took me about an hour and a half of effort to make this happen. I mean, this is great stuff. I want to eat some more, but I just got done choking on camera, and then I got, you know how you get that one little piece of meat stuck up in the backside of your nose, and it just like won't go away. I think I got one of those there. Oh, gross. Yeah, that's gone. Okay. Embarrassing. It's okay. Hey, if you guys are new here, I'm Big Man Alaska. I do mainly weight loss videos around my own personal experience. I was previously 435 pounds. My name's Big John. I live here in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm just an average truck driver, lives in a trailer home, here in town. I learned a few things about losing weight, and I find it very important to share my experience with other people because I'm just trying to reach out to people that want to learn how to lose a little bit more weight just from listening to my experiences as I go, because there's a lot of pitfalls, when it comes to losing weight. And I figured, I'm already doing this. I might as well share the experience. And eventually people started liking the idea of, how I talk on camera, how I relate to people, and how I can just randomly say random stuff at times. Now, when I first started making these YouTube videos about weight loss, I was not in a mentally good state. My head was extremely swollen from all the processed foods and sugars, the carbs I was eating at the time. I could barely communicate with my wife and my kids. It was pretty tragic type situation. I was declining fast. I went through a lot through the pandemic with sleep apnea, and I started gaining a lot of weight. I was receding into my own mind at times, and I was very depressed. I'm still suffering from anxiety right now. The depression is going away, but the anxiety is something I've been battling for many years. Like even before with my ex-wife, I was going through it, and years before that too. So I did work as a bouncer in a bar, which is odd because I didn't like going to the bars because I didn't like being around the crowd. So if I'm in a social setting like that on my own free will, just walk into a bar, I was very uncomfortable. I didn't tend to stay very long. So I used to, go in there, and at a certain point of the night, I would get uncomfortable and just maybe disappear out the back door, or, tell the person I was with at the time, like, hey, let's go. And they'd be usually upset with me because, they didn't understand. They didn't understand why. And I also had a hard time with just going to the grocery store all by myself, just buying simple items. So if I were to go to a grocery store, I would run in the door, I would get a couple things, I'd forget 12 things, and I'd be out of the door, and just thankful to be outside again and away from the business. But yeah, I was a bouncer at a bar, and I could work there all night long, and I was just fine as long as I was in a situation like that. If I was working there, I was focused on, people, trying to help people and take care of people, which is similar to what I try to share out here on the internet right now. I just want to help people try to figure out, weight loss doesn't have to be hard. I don't care if you're stuck in a bed, you're stuck in a wheelchair. It's not that hard. You can lose weight and be in those situations. just the average person, me sitting right here, right now, not doing anything. I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything. I'm just hanging out here in this chair. I'm burning approximately 230 calories per hour sitting in this chair. And truck drivers, when they're just sitting in a truck, they're burning anywhere from 500 to 600 calories, sometimes more, while just sitting behind the wheel of a big truck. And once we understand the basic math, of calories in, calories out, which sometimes is a bunch of nonsense, and I don't count calories anymore. I stopped. I completely stopped counting calories, and look at me. I'm gaining health. I'm a lot lighter now. I'm not 435 pounds anymore. I might still be, ugly grandpa looking. Because I got the gray thing. I got bags under my eyes. That's just old age. That's just life. That's who we are. I don't worry about that part. And yeah, we're losing our hair. Like, hey, woo, look at that. Huh? I need a haircut from the wife. That way it doesn't look so. I don't like that look. I don't like it when it does the horseshoe stuff. But whatever. I can shave my head. I'm okay with that. I normally don't even wear a hat in my video. But here we are. Hey, hello. Let's go check, see who's in the room. I haven't said much as far as interaction with people here. It says we got 60 people. Well, no, 51 in the stream. Hello. Angela, Beth, as people are saying hello to each other. Somebody says they like my tattoo. I got a story about that tattoo. Let's see, love that. Can get a mod. Shout out. Hi. Yeah, there was a lot going on in here. I was just rambling. I apologize, guys. I try to keep, especially towards when the video gets over an hour, I try to interact a lot more with the people that are coming in. Michael, hey, thank you, Michael, for dropping in. I wanted to start this live stream early today because this is the day that most carnivores start doing their live streams, and that way I might be able to, check your guys' live stream out here in a little while. John, I think you look great, man. Such a big change for you over the last month. I appreciate you, Michael, and I'll be sitting in the background when you guys get your live stream going here later. Yeah, I appreciate you, Lindy, Todd, everybody there. And it's a great experience. Being part of the carnivore community, you get to know so many people, and it comes quickly how everything in the community starts happening. And when I started having problems, they were there for me. They were there for me to either give me advice, give me a little pat on the back, cheer me on in situations where I had a dramatic weight loss or something like that. They're like, yeah, good, you're doing it. And Michael, if you're still in the room, I would like to say I am 100% carnivore right now. After this, most recent few weeks here, I'm not getting into the fruits. I have not been getting into the dairy besides eggs. Eggs, I like eggs. I haven't had any cheese in a while, and that's improved my weight loss, by the way, along with the 5-day water fast, of course. So that speeds things up a lot. And I'll probably be doing more fasting. And my next fasting practice that I'm looking at trying out is it's kind of like a roller coaster fast. So it's like 36 hours, come down, 12 hours, we're going to eat, small bump of eating window. So I got a 12-hour eating window of eating, and then I'm going to go into another 36-hour fast. We're going to do that for an entire week. Now I'm going to try to plan this out mathematically for the entirety of a week. And I do my weigh-ins on Saturday. And I usually post a weekly weight loss update every weekend, regardless of what I'm doing, live streams or short form videos or anything like that. So yeah, expect that kind of stuff from me. But every Saturday I do a weigh-in, and periodically I might weigh myself throughout the week just to see how things are going. Because this last water fast, I was just curious. So I got on the scale and it was like, boom, I lost 3 or 4 pounds. Whoa, okay, cool, it's working. And then I got on the scale the next day. Boom, I lost another 3 or 4 pounds. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, hey, honey, look at this. I'm talking to my wife, talking to my kids. I'm like, check that out. And everybody's like, whoa, you were just like, what, 315 a couple days ago? I said, yeah. Now I'm not. I'm like, what is going on here? And I've done water fasts, before in this weight loss journey where I lost 30 pounds the first go around. And I was wanting to recreate mimic the same water fast that I did when I first started losing weight. But since I lost the majority of water weight now and I got the inflammation under control, I was like, boy, I bet I can lose at least half of that amount in 1 week. But I wasn't sure until I tried it. And that's the thing. You never know what's going to happen until you try it. So if weight loss is your goal, then, yeah, try a water fast, research it, learn how to do it, learn how to start it, learn how to get through the bumps in the road. Because if you've never done one, the first one's going to be hard. But as soon as you successfully get through a solid one, yeah, the next one's going to be much easier because you already know what to expect. Your mind is wrapped around the idea that this is what's going to happen. This is what I might experience. I might want to have a snack. I just need to not have a snack. So you need to find ways of not having a snack. And there are like simple tricks to like not necessarily horribly break the fast, but to keep the fast going even after the fast is over. I talked about this in my last video. So let's say I did a 5-day water fast and then I went straight into an egg fast, and then I ate eggs for a period of time, like these pickled eggs. Like I could fast on these eggs for 2 or 3 days after that fast. I'd be getting nutrition. I'd be feeling satiated. I'd be hitting all the sensitive markers that usually provide us, triggers for unhealthy type situations. So yeah, that'd be all covered by pickled eggs. Now, typically, if I was trying to do a regular type weight loss type of week where I'm eating regular foods for dinner, if you pack eggs or sardines, for instance, yeah, they don't spike the blood sugar. So sardines and eggs are one of my go-tos. Now, when you cook eggs in a pan, somebody else mentioned this yesterday. Like if you're using any type of oils, even avocado oil, if you scramble them up, they tend to saturate the oil. And even a good healthy type oil, I don't know, it doesn't really work well for me. So I like to hard boil my eggs. Poached eggs are very lovely if you do that. And if you add eggs in with something like hamburger patties or something like that, it gives it a nice, great flavor. And it also gives you a ton of nutrition when you add an egg on top of a burger meat. You already have highly nutritious burger meat that's helping you stay full and satiated, and then you put an egg on top of it. That's the boss move there. And if you can manage sardines in your diet or figure out a way to do sardines, there's a couple tricks to that. Because sardines are super, super nutritious. They're used to fix a lot of problems with a lot of people. They jumpstart your ketosis. They just put you light years ahead of where you thought you were, and you didn't realize you even needed to be there until you ate something like sardines. There's just so much nutrition there. And they have omega-3 fatty acids, which is good for your brain function. It's good for your heart function too. So something I've been learning, I don't know all of this stuff 100%, but there's some markers in people that have heart attacks and stuff like that. And people that have, a lot of people that have heart attacks are omega-3 deficient. So these are just some basic markers. And I don't look at all the markers like, oh yeah, that's the reason. It's because you're omega-3 deficient. Well, the chances of you being omega-3 deficient usually comes along with the reason of you're eating overly processed foods. You're eating a lot of unhealthy foods. You might be a heavy drinker. You might be into drugs. There's a lot of things that go in there for all that to happen. All right. Jesus loves you. Yeah, I believe so. Boy, grubbing. I haven't really grubbed because I just choked on one of these, like this one here, I think. Yeah, I took a little bite and I was like, I had to go get some water. That was, it's just all a part of the fun of doing a live stream, I suppose. All right, Michael says to somebody else, that's awesome. Let's see, well, who is that person? Jazz Nasty 69. Wow. Okay, I went on a fast. My eating window was 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then I did a bone broth fast, dropped 21 pounds in 3 weeks. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I mean, as long as you understand you have a plan, you got some basic time frames of your eating window and you stick to that, totally, yeah, it'll make the fast work. And since I started eating a little bit, I am actually sweating now, and I don't normally sweat. So the whole point of doing this 5-day water fast was I was hoping that by day 3, I would be in solid ketosis. And then, the next 2 days would just be, maintaining ketosis and autophagy. But I have a strong feeling that by day 2, I was already in solid ketosis because I was already eating a carnivore diet, and I was eating only meats and fats for over a week and a half. And then I started the fast. So it was kind of jump starting me into that ketosis phase that I was looking for, because I felt like I was in a slump. I felt like my metabolism stopped. similar to when I wasn't doing anything fasting related or carnivore related. I just felt like my body wasn't working correctly. I didn't feel like I was sweating. I could do stuff, but I wasn't sweating like just sitting here. And that's what I used to do a lot, is when I would drink a cup of coffee, for instance, I would start sweating profusely, even when I was young. And I'd have to like get up and walk outside of the restaurant, because if I had a cup of coffee, I would be just, my body is like a good super cooler. It's crazy. Uh, Shout me out, please. Mallory. Hey, Mallory. How are you doing? I'm drinking lots of water. I'm going to try this fasting. Yeah, just definitely look into research. Do your research. That's the most important thing before you get a fast started. There's a lot more to fasting than just not eating food, because like I said in my last video, we can do fasting and actually eat food. For those that just can't wrap their mind around a fasting process, if you eat just sardines throughout the week, now you can eat as many sardines as you want throughout that week, and you'll be just fine. You'll be doing yourself some good, because you'll be giving yourself a bunch of nutrition. It's ketosis friendly. It jump starts everything that you need to get working. And by the end of that 5 days, and I only do these things for 5 days. So whatever I do, fasting practices or eating type strategies for the week, I focus on 5 days. And that's the best way to get started. Now, if you're a beginner at anything weight loss related, 5 days, screw up whatever you want on the weekends. That's the best way to get started. The weekend's over, get back to your 5 days. Focus on those 5 days. Don't jump off the rails. And if you do, get right back onto whatever you're planning on doing. Always have a plan, and always have an exit strategy, which is the safest way to do things. So if it's your first time doing a 5-day water fast and you just physically cannot get past the 3rd day, and you're just like, man, I want to get this done. I already feel changes in my body, because by the 3rd day, even a beginner is going to start feeling something different going on inside their body. You're going to start gaining mental clarity. You're going to start feeling a different way at times. But if you just can't go through an entire 5 days, figure out your healthy options to bail you out. Your healthy options to keep you in ketosis for the remainder of the time. And guess what? This is an option. Pickled eggs. That'll help you get through. Eat a couple of those, become slightly satiated. That'll keep you in ketosis, get you through the following day. Now, if you're not into eggs, there's other options out there. Dill pickles, 0-calorie dill pickles will get you through as well. That was something I did before I started the carnivore diet. Now, there's other options like sardines as well. Sardines will also kickstart ketosis faster anyways. So if you got to day 3, you're struggling on day 4 and 5, just eat some sardines. I mean, I know not everybody likes them. Put a little bit of mustard on them, eat some sardines, figure out a way to stomach them. You could even add them to tuna fish, mix them in, however you like. And that's going to kickstart the rest of your fasting process, so you can achieve a solid 5 days of something. Now, you don't have to do a solid 5 days of absolutely no food. You don't even have to do 5 days of no food and still gain, fasting time. Because I've done egg fasts where I ate nothing but eggs, and I've done it several different ways. I have a repertoire of videos, that I have available that show basically what I did. Now, granted, I wasn't very good at making videos at that time, but the information's there, what I did, because I wanted to share the experience for when I got to this point, because we tend to forget. We get amnesia over time. We forget, what we did to get to where we are. And that's where a lot of these people that are in the health community are right now. They're so wrapped up on talking about the science and just the politics behind it, and the arguments, back and forth between the carnivore and vegan community. And if we don't go back and look at what we did in the past, it's hard to stay humble. And if you're not humble anymore, it's hard to teach people, where you came from, what you did to get here. Because a lot of those people, they're not talking about how they got here. They're not talking about how they got here anymore, because now they're famous, and they're doing big time YouTube stuff, which is great. Congratulations, awesome. But hey, remember, you got to talk about how you suffered, in order for people to understand what you're talking about now. Is the hard part to try to get figured out. Hey, greetings from Germany. Hey, right on, Germany. Thank you for checking in. I don't know Catherine's. I don't know that language, so I don't know where she's from. I'm going to kiss you. Okay. Well, I hope you clean your screen before you do that. TV woman, what I do. All right, we got a bunch of stuff going on in here. Let's see, we got an hour and 44 minutes into the stream. I appreciate everybody for diving in here. I mean, if fasting or weight loss or carnivore or anything is up your alley, by all means, please subscribe to the channel. You know, we could use all the help we could get. Last I checked, we were a little over 2,900 subscribers. This week, I was trying to get over 3,000 subscribers, but that's okay. You know, I'm not looking for numbers. I'm not begging for people that don't want to come back and revisit anything that I like to talk about, or even want to, you know, if you like these live streams, absolutely subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing more, and they get out there. They really help me talk about what I'm doing. My viewers tend to love it. YouTube says I have a very loyal audience, and people just keep coming back. You know, they want more of the silly stuff I do. You know, making chicken wings, for instance, on a live stream, making pickled eggs on a live stream. You never know what I'm gonna do. You never know what I'm gonna say. So yeah, always come back, and yeah, we never know what's going to happen next. But hey guys, I want to thank everybody that dropped into this live stream, and the people that watch this live stream afterwards. I appreciate you guys too. But I'm going to do a basic overview of what we did, and then are gonna, you know, cut this stream down. Let's see. Can't gain a dang pound no matter how much I eat. As a man, this 120, 30-pound weight is so whack. As 5'8", man, probably worse being under that. Okay, so that was from Chris J. So you're having a problem gaining weight? Well, there's a couple different ways you can use to gain weight. And like, I used to be a bodybuilder. I used to do bodybuilder type stuff. I used to do a lot of physical training, and there was a process I would use. I would always use a lot of protein, but I also had to add in some carbs and stuff like that. And then I had to do, you know, specific type of lifting. But yeah, that's a whole nother avenue of stuff that I'm not into right now. Like I say, I'm trying to actually lose weight now. And my problem is, you know, the way my entire family is, we tend to gain weight just by sitting here and looking at a pair of dumbbells. So I could just look at dumbbells across the room, and all of a sudden I got, it's like, what? How did that happen? I wasn't trying to do that. And yeah, that's just one of those things. I wanted to share Book of Mormon. You already said that. I appreciate you though. You can share the Book of Mormon any day of the week. I'm not worried about that. Let's see here. So, hugs from Siberia. Hey, thank you there, Bobber Chick, the cat. Appreciate you. All right, we're going to be closing this video out here. Give you a basic talk of what we did in this video here. Today we made these, we reheated these. These were made yesterday. And then I broke my fast with these pickled eggs. That was amazing, by the way. And I was using this Insta Vortex Plus air fryer, which I really rarely ever use. This thing is pretty cool. Now I would like to get a new air fryer that has the basket, because that looks like it's really easy to clean, because this thing's kind of a bugger to clean, because I got to get up in there, I got to reach inside, and yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I like the little non-stick trays that it comes with, but that's all great. But I've had these chicken wings sitting here on the table, and I'm not going to eat all of them in front of everybody on camera. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody. If you enjoyed today's stream, just let me know. This stream will be posted up here within the hour. So if anybody wants to come back and leave a comment, I appreciate it. And as always, I hope to see you guys in the next one. So yeah, we're going to stumble my way out of here, because they don't make an easy way to get out of these live streams without... I got going. There it is. Woo! Boop.